So NFL approves expansion of jersey numbers. I am all for this. So the reason why I'm all for it though is because I like the restrictions that they kept, but also like the expansion that they made. So, for example, I'm an offensive lineman, or I was an offensive lineman in high school. I like the fact that offensive linemen are 50 through 79. Makes it easier to see them on the field, as well as, if, for example, like an offensive lineman checks in as an extra offensive lineman that's eligible for receiving, that's kind of interesting too. So keeping them in the same, offensive line numbers that they've always been is nice. I like that. Defensive line, same thing, same concept for me. The rest, I'm totally okay with. I don't think there's an issue with a wide receiver wearing number 1 or number 4. Like, to me, it doesn't make like having your, quote unquote skilled receiver or skilled receivers or skilled positions be the like different numbers and everything like that, from ranging from 1 to 49 for pretty much all the skilled positions, 159 in linebackers case. That just, to me, it makes sense. I don't, I think it's cool in college football when I see a guy like an Isaiah Thomas, for instance, or Isaiah Thomas, Isaiah Wilson, from
There
the
you go. Yeah,
Cardinals.
Wilson.
Wilson, there we
Right.
go. Jeez, one of my favorite prospects coming out of any draft ever, and I can't get his name correct. But anyways, I like keep his number 11. Like, I don't see a problem with that. It doesn't matter. Like, he plays safety, linebacker, pass rusher. Who cares? Wide receiver again. Right here, Derrick Henry being number 2. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's entertaining. I think seeing a player in college with their number that they've had through high school and through grade school and everything, and then they come to the pros and they get to keep the same number, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I never, this is something I legitimately did not think about. I didn't think there were rules on it. I did not know it was a hotly debated issue. This was just like oh yeah, I didn't know they had that. Cool. I don't see
Yeah.
what the issue is.
Well, it's because of the for wide receivers, I think the numbers were you were allowed to be 1 through 19 or 11 through 19 or 10 through 19, I'm sorry. And then basically you were allowed to be like 80 through 89 or something like you were very specific numbers that you were allowed to be. Same with running back, same with quarterback, same with DBs, linebackers. You basically just weren't allowed to dip into 1 through 19 or 1 through 10, which is where quarterbacks kind of lied. So the fact that it kind of expands for everybody is, like I said, a lot better in my opinion. Because if I'm watching Derrick Henry in college at number 2, it doesn't really mean anything to me that he suddenly becomes number 22. Like, just keep him number 2. I don't care. Like, nobody cares what number he has on his jersey, but if it's more recognizable for people that maybe don't know the name, then that makes more sense. So, yeah, I agree. I wish quarterbacks did get higher. I think it'd be fun for quarterbacks to be maybe 1 through 30, or 1 through 29. And just, or I mean, quarterbacks to me, 1 through 19, whatever. I mean, it's every quarterback in history has been like that. So that's fine. 1 through 29 maybe would have been a little bit more inclusive. But yeah, like I said, I don't really care about this at all. Like, I'm totally okay with linebackers being whatever number they were in college. I'm totally okay with DBs being that same way. If Patrick Surtain this year gets drafted and he's number 2 in college, he could be number 2 in the pros. I could care less.
Interesting. It was for TV purposes, floating in the 70s. Like a reason, like was it supposed to make it easier for viewers to track the game type?
Yeah,
How
that's
hockey
that's
had the glowing puck for a
yeah, basically that's what it was. It was basically so that way you could identify what players are which, because obviously on a football field there's a lot of different players. It's different from like basketball where there's 5 positions. It's different from like, soccer where it's like, oh, those guys are attackers, those guys are defenders. Yeah, they have specific names for their positions, but you don't really need to know that if you're just a casual fan watching. Whereas for the pros, you're like, wait a minute, who's the guy that gets the ball and then throws the ball? Oh, that's the quarterback. Oh, I see the quarterback now on the field with, the other 21 players. That's kind of why it was there, so that way you could actually recognize like the actual film, because football is also like a pretty quick sport once it actually gets going. Like, once the play started, it's hard to like kind of track anybody on the field. So it's just easier for people to track the numbers going across the screen, and for the more casual fan.
interesting. Yeah, I buy it.
So
That makes
But yeah, like I said, I don't care. I love it. I love that they're actually expanding it. You know, for a while, the NFL was the no fun league, and we're finally starting to like break that open and like expand where they can actually celebrate. They can actually wear any number that they want within a general guideline. Like that's totally fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, like I said, I do like that they kept some of the guidelines, but generally overall, it's great. Keep it as is right now, moving forward, and I'd be happy, and I think everybody would be too.